All right, everybody. So welcome to this demonstration of a very old game. It is 27 years old. It runs on the DOS disk operating system from Windows way back when. It's called DoEpi. It's training for epidemiologists. It is how I trained, or how actually I got interested in epidemiology. And then later on in 2003, when I got into my MPH program, Master of Public Health program, how I trained on epidemiology. So I downloaded this from the CC website. I'll have that link in the description. And you can see here, I had to get a DOS emulator for my computer. And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and install it. It's 12.4 megabytes. Those of you who are the younger kind might not know exactly what that size is, but it is very small, very lightweight. So let's go ahead with the full installation. No group is selected. Okay, select that and then enter. I am going to install it to DoEpi. So it's just going to go through the installation. And again, 12 megabytes. Most of this is taking a while because it is just extracting everything and putting it in there, but it should be very fast. It's text-based. You see in the background, see one, do one, teach one. It is one of the things that when we train somebody, we have them see a procedure or how to do something. We have them do the procedure or do it and then teach it. And this is a way that you can then learn how to do it. So I am using DweebBox, by the way. DweebBox, and it's asking for this too, and it's already in there. DweebBox is from the Tech Dweeb. Follow him on YouTube if you have a chance. A lot of retro gaming, a lot of retro stuff from back in the day. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's like games from 30, 40 years ago that still are challenging and interesting, like the old Mario Brothers on the Nintendo Entertainment System. A lot of this maybe before your time, maybe before you were born, maybe this was all running around when you were running around in diapers, but still interesting to look at this. This is open source software. There is some copyright because some people did work on this, but it is open source from the Centers for Disease Control. This tree, I already have it in there, so I'm also drinking my coffee. It is installing the files. It's doing its thing. DoEpi. And we'll go through the outbreak investigation module just to show you what it looks like. And then maybe if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to install DOSBox in your computer, on your Windows computer, how to do it in Mac. Mac also has an emulator for DOS and you can do it on there. And yeah, this is exciting stuff because I haven't done this in 20 some years. And I'm sure I'm probably going to get some of the questions wrong and be embarrassed as an epidemiologist, but we'll see. Modify, yes. DoEpi at the DoEpi prompt. Okay. In Windows, double click on the DoEpi icon. All right. Please enter the number for one of the following options. Windows, the instructions for installing it will run from DOS. Do not install an icon. So we'll do that. Installation is complete. Any key to exit, then type DoEpi. Okay. And here it is. Version 1.1, June 1997, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. This is a while ago, right? And sometimes you have to go back to the old stuff just to know how to use it. So if you see at the top, exercises, printing, course evaluation, info, instructor, EpiInfo, and InfoMap. EpiInfo is a database, kind of a way to keep track of cases and do some work with it. We're going to go to exercises, hit enter. You can look at the background. What is DoEpi? What is EpiInfo? So let's just look at the background real quick. So exercise for teaching epidemiology and computing with a framework for creating new exercises. You see all the information there. And so I am going to press F to go back, not spotlight search, function F4. There we go. I'm on the Mac emulator here. So again, exercises, and let's go through the Oswego Church Supper investigation. This is a classic outbreak investigation that we teach students, an outbreak of gastroenteritis after a church supper. All right, and let's go through the exercise. Instructions, learning objectives. The assignment is an epidemic, steps, clinical questionnaire, organizer, supper, line questioning, and all these other things. So we're gonna go through them. It might take a little bit of time, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. So here we go. With a mouse, choose a topic. I don't have a mouse, so I do have a mouse, but I'm using the DOS. Choose a topic, press tab to move around, and then enter to select. Scroll line by line, up and down arrow keys. Scroll screen by screen. All right. The assignment. On April 19th, 1940, the local health officer in the village of Lycoming, Oswego County, New York, reported the occurrence of an outbreak of acute gastrointestinal illness to the district health officer in Syracuse. Dr. A.M. Rubin, epidemiologist in training, was assigned to conduct an investigation. So let's look at a picture of the church. Very high quality picture, right? Okay, so he says all persons known to be in have been attended at a church supper held on the previous evening of April 18. Family members who did not attend the church supper did not become ill, so that's highly suspect, right? Interviews regarding the occurrence of the symptoms, the date of the hour of the onset, and the food pre-taken at the church supper were completed on 75 of the 80 persons. All right. 46 persons with GI were identified. GI, gastrointestinal illness. Next. Now this is your turn. Resist looking at the hints until you have written down your answers. Question 1, would you call this an epidemic? And I would say yes. It's more than the expected rate. It's concentrated in a place, a time, etc. And so let's look at the hint. So tab. Yes, an epidemic can define as the occurrence of more cases in a place and time than expected. Of the 75 persons interviewed, 46 were ill with gastroenteritis during a 24-hour time period. You can just walk through all of this. Let's go next. What are the steps in an investigation? You confirm the diagnosis, you prepare for field work, you question the people, you take samples, you take them to the lab, you do all those things. So let's see. No right lists, yeah, but every field epidemiologist ought to have a systematic approach to an outbreak investigation. Steps are fixed order, some situations, control measures can and should be done. So yes, you identify potential investigation team and resources, establish the existence, you confirm the diagnosis, construct a working case definition, find your cases, interview them, develop the hypothesis, and then do your analysis, and then implement control prevention measures. The onset of all cases was acute, characterized chiefly by nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. None of the ill persons reported having an elevated temperature. All recovered within 24 to 30 hours. Approximately 20% of the ill individuals visited physicians. No fecal specimens were obtained for bacteriologic investigation. What are the broad categories of these diseases that must be considered in the differential diagnosis of an outbreak of gastrointestinal disease? So E. coli, Shigella, Salmonella, anything with a toxin that is being produced, especially if it recovers so quickly. If they didn't have a fever, that's more of a toxin acting there than an infection. So let's look at the hint. Infectious, bacterial, viral, parasitic, toxic, environmental, psychogenic. Oh, that's what they were getting at. Okay. I went the infectious route. That's my thing. Yeah. So Bacillus, Campylobacteria, E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, Staph, Vibrio. I already know the answer to this because this is one that we have done for a long time. Okay. Return to exercise. Tab. There we go. So I won't bore you with the rest of it. You can actually go through it if you're a budding epidemiologist and you really want to know this. But this is interesting because the line list, how to graph the onset. This is computer test 3, graphing time of the onset. Oh, it won't launch it. That's interesting. Okay. I wonder why not. Outliers, notes on an epi curve. Yeah, so as an epidemiologist, you have to learn the epi curves. Review the epidemic curve. So you can see here that the onset, the first case was around 3 p.m. and then starting around 9 p.m., people started getting sick throughout the whole night. This is a number of hours after midnight on April 17. So a lot of people got sick that day. And you see it's a point source because it just rises and falls really quickly, and then you have no more cases. So one thing at a point caused the epidemic at the supper. Escape to go back, and then let's go back to the table of contents. Let's see incubation periods, calculating then differential diagnosis, tabulation, further investigation, what control measures should you put, and then the importance of the ice cream. So yes, it was the ice cream that's what caused the outbreak. Control measures, patient 52, and then let's look at the original report. Certain laboratory techniques not available at the time of this investigation might prove very useful in the analysis of similar epidemic today. Yes, and in fact, when this program came on, we didn't have PCR. We had ELISA, and you had to do it through the Food and Drug Administration. Now you can do it. You can do it at any hospital, any clinic, any small lab can do it for you now. It's hilarious. All right. Staph isolated from Grace Petrie's nose and the vanilla ice cream, and vomitus or stool samples from ill patients associated with the church supper to be identical had she been the source of the contamination. Distinctly different phage types would miliate against her as a source, although differences might be observed as a chance phenomenon of sampling error. So yes, so what happened was somebody had this infection and they prepared the ice cream and made everybody sick at the supper because the toxin created by the bacteria. So it wasn't an infection per se, it was the toxin created there. So let's take the test. Let's see. Okay, let's take the test. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's not loading it. All right, let's see. You can evaluate it. Let me see if I can get it. Examination. All right, computer test. You can produce a line list. You organize the line list. This is interesting. Median, mode, and range. Yeah, it's not working so well. Probably because of the limitations of this is from 1997 and I'm trying to run it here in 2024. But it is interesting. I do recommend this for the budding epidemiologist to look at this, to try to figure this out. The onset, approximations. When you look at the onset and how long it lasts, it can tell you what it could be there on the organism or toxin. Yeah, very nice blast from the past. So let's go back to the table of contents. Let's look at how they built up those questions. Identifying information, demographics, clinical information, epi information. Yeah, so this is all stuff that we do now. All right, let's see what else is in here. Yeah. Close 4. And then this is Oswego, so 10 to get out of here. And What other exercises? Research studies, Epi info, public health, surveillance requests, refugee camp nutrition. This is all stuff that we still do today. It's just that we have more modern tools to do it, right? It's just, we still teach all these concepts. So oral contraceptive use in ovarian cancer, that's something that's still pertinent today, right? Epi info, we don't use Epi info as much anymore. There's a more modern form of it. Paralytic illness and adabo. All right, instructions, learning objectives, moving around it, missing data, the effects of missing information. This is something that I've written about and I've talked about. It's very important that you take into consideration your missing data. So a definition of fever plus paralysis will miss some true cases that do not have one or the other. So you want to say fever or paralysis, or you want to say the fever was not by thermometer, you just felt feverish. Paralysis can be paralysis of one limb, paralysis of one side of the body. Not everybody who gets polio gets paralysis. That is another thing that you need to know. Okay, but yeah, no, this is great. This is fantastic. I am very happy that I was able to run it on DOS, and you know, you can, let's see if it runs the exact, I want to do the test. I want 14, 15, examination. Let me see. Faith. Yeah. Okay. 10, 10, 10. Let's see, what else do we have? Exercises, surveillance requests, refugee camp nutrition, your state. Oh, interesting. And you can print it. You can print all of these, so you can have them as which I did, by the way. I remember my lab manager getting very angry because I used a lot of paper to print it out back then in 2002 when I was trying to get into an MPH program. Course evaluation, info, Windows 95. What is Epi info? Again, nice little blast from the past. Thank you for coming along with me on this. I'll be playing around with this and seeing how it works out. But thanks to TechDweeb for developing this DOS. It's all orange because that's his favorite color, but you can find them on YouTube and can go ahead and hit a like and subscribe for my channel. Not that I'm looking to make any money off of it or anything. It's just nice to know that you paid attention for 15 minutes or so. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later.